welcome back to Gotta Be Me podcast. We are so happy to be here again with you today. We're your hosts. My name is Sophia Benyon, and this is my cousin Peyton Benyon.
Welcome back to our channel, everybody. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will appreciate it so very much.
We are so excited to have some guests back on our show. You know, sometimes we just record back to back with each other, and then finally getting guests is super, super exciting. So we are so happy and excited and proud to introduce to you Brother Rob and Brother Devin, some local activists in our Black community and leaders here in Muncie where we live. So everybody, please welcome them to the show in the comments. We're so excited and happy to have them. Brother Rob, Brother Devin.
What's going on?
What's going on?
We're so happy to have you all here. We've been talking about inviting you all almost since the beginning of this podcast.
For a long time, right?
Yeah, I felt some kind of way. Y'all had my wife on before me.
Man.
I kind of felt some kind of way about it.
I was going to call you, but I was like, I'm going to just let them live.
You let us live?
Yeah, and had my son on. And Brett
Everybody.
Devin's
I ain't
daughter.
going to talk about it. It's like, you bringing up old hurt.
Yeah.
Old pain. That's funny.
Well, we're sorry. But we, you know that quote, I'm not trying to hurt nobody else now, but about saving the best for last.
Oh, that's
you know?
what it was.
I knew I was awesome.
I'm just putting that
I
out
knew
there.
I was awesome.
You
I was
are
just wondering
on
if y'all
awesomeness.
knew
Yeah,
how awesome.
what's with the awesomeness today? Because we've been talking about awesome for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, he feeling pretty awesome
He's
today.
feeling
I guess.
awesome.
very
I
awesome
guess.
right
now.
It must be that we invited him onto our show that's making him feel
It is
awesome.
exactly that.
That's what
It
I
is
figured.
exactly
That's what I
that.
figured. So there's so many things that people divide on in the world, obviously, in politics, and there's gender, and there's, all kinds of things. And one of the things that we've talked about just with ourselves is the age gap, and that's a line that people have contention along, or divide, or fight, or have trouble. And
Or just a loss of transferring of information across generations, just
Right.
in general in the world right now.
and I think we're here because we're very passionate about helping our community, the Black community. And you all, I think, are perfect to speak to this issue because, and maybe before we get into that, we could talk about this, you all have some projects going on here in the local community. Would one of you be able to speak about what Young Men's Restoration Academy is?
Young Men's Restoration Academy is just, for lack of a better word, we seen issues. So a lot of young men was getting shot in our community, and I called Brother Rob and Brother Steve one day and was like, listen, I'm tired of this. We got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I got a son, Brother Rob got a son, and they got friends. So we was just like, we're gonna just grab them and just start putting the information on their mind and feet. So we would go grab them, feed them, and just talk to them about stuff that we wish people would have talked to us about.
As young Black men.
As young Black men, because a lot of times we just expect people to have young men to know, but they don't know, and it's evident. So that's basically how it came about, and we just start building on it like that.
And we was tired of a lot of people talk about issues in our community, but they don't get active.
Lots of talk, right?
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you can talk about the young people and how they need to do better, but it's like, get active.
Mm-hmm.
Go engage with them. You know what I'm saying? Go do something then.
Right.
And then you'll find that a lot of those young men are raised in rough situations. So I'll give an example. So y'all had my wife on the show. So obviously I'm married. My son and my daughter live with both of their parents. That's not the case for most situations
Yeah.
of the young men that we were targeting.
Mm-hmm.
They just live with their mom. That don't mean that the dad ain't in the life. They just don't live together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so one time we had a dinner for the parents. This was the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And so two of the young boys rode back with me and my son. My wife had drove separate. And the young man told my son, he said, my mom was at the table with your mom. He was like, I didn't know that was your mom. He was like, what parent do you live with?
Oh, he was confused.
Just automatically.
You know what I'm saying?
He
But
just
I'm just saying,
assumed.
he automatically assumed your parents ain't together. So when I dropped them off, I looked at my son. I said, did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
realize-
That this is rare in our community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you raised in conditions like that.
Mm-hmm. I think we see it every single day at the school. I honestly think it's a rarity to find a child that has two parents
Right.
consistently in their life.
Yeah.
Legitimately
Honestly,
rare.
we assume, if the child talking about their dad, we're just assuming they don't live with their mom, and vice versa. Because
It's-
most of the children, that's the situation.
It's
there.
honestly can be strange to assume someone even is living with a parent, because then you get in an awkward situation with a child and they actually instruct you to say your legal guardian.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in our community, it's
It's the
grandma.
grandparents, right?
Yeah.
It
That's
can be
raising them.
grandma most times.
Right. And that don't mean parents ain't in life though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're
You
just
know what
not
I'm saying?
living with them or
You know, because
whatever.
I think one thing that happens, especially with black men, because I think black men are targeted, that just because the dad ain't living with the mom, we assume that the dad ain't in the life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not
That's
what that
not
means.
necessarily.
means.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so sometimes we be like, it's a lot of single parent households, and there is, and that's not good. But don't automatically assume that dad ain't there.
Right. So you said black men are targeted. You want to speak a little bit more to that? What do you mean by that?
I just think even from like the history of black men in America,
Okay.
we just always been targeted. Even like from the days of slavery, you have to emasculate the man.
Mm-hmm.
You
For
have
slavery
to
to even work.
just to even break down the function of the family.
Yes.
Mhm.
But then if you even go to like just more recent that we can just see, like mass incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? War on crime, war on drugs. Like who were you targeting?
Right.
You were targeting black men
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Now that don't mean that it didn't trickle down to other men, but you were targeting us.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like we're always targeted. If you look at redlining and
Right.
you know what I'm saying, everything. If a man can't provide for his family, you're targeting him.
Right.
It's gonna break down the whole family. It is gonna. You are targeting that black woman too, but you're targeting that black woman through that black man.
Because you have to get him out of the way first, right?
Yeah.
In order to, right, that's back to, we talked one time about the Willie Lynch letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's tons of assumptions around that letter, different theories, different theses about it. But either way, what was said, the contents of the letter are true in American society today, right?
Right. And it's crazy, like just even this talk, because it seemed like there's a. I don't want to get you off topic, but
No,
it
you go
seems
ahead.
like there could be like, so I say a targeting of black men, and there is automatically an assumption that women aren't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so we find that in our community specifically,
Yes.
that so now black men are put against black women.
Mm-hmm. It's like they're set against
Absolutely.
You know
each
what I'm
other,
saying?
right?
And it's their power struggle of who better. And it's like, just because I have a position that I got to hold and you should hold a position.
Go on and say it.
With me, but I'm saying it's just not as important in this realm.
Mm-hmm. It's a supporting role.
You know
right?
what I'm saying? That don't mean you're less important.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. So, because I do think black women are targeted too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, I think black women are targeted.
But we gotta fix it where it started. We gotta start with the men. And that's not to say the women shouldn't take responsibility at all, or that one is more culpable than the other. But it's just the way it kind of works. And I think by the I mean, there's like a whole generation of black men that are just completely gone, right? And then the women in that state had to be in a role that was not theirs.
Right.
And then now we've got it all twisted, and now we're fighting each other and biting each other and backstabbing each other.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of has just perpetuated itself in
Yeah.
our communities.
And we need to be like patient with one another and understanding like the situation.
It's a good strategy if they never want us to rise up to set us against one another, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, Brother Devin, you mentioned you all want to share things with the young men that you felt like you didn't get growing up. What do you feel like was missing and why?
So for me, I didn't meet my dad till I was 39. So
39.
yeah, I just met my dad like right. I mean, I met him when I was 39, and then he passed away when I was
42.
42. So I got
Just
like
knew him
a
for
couple
like 3
years. Yeah. So and it mean a lot to not, like, you don't know how much it really means to not have a male figure. The other day I'm about to get off topic.
You're good.
The other day we were talking about like the Hispanic culture and our culture, and like we both come from, humble beginnings or poor backgrounds a lot of times, but it's like one man was like why, like we're able to bring ourselves up out of it. Why can't they?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, we both are down here, but one culture still has the father that can instill principles and a work ethic in different things. And for a long time, I think our community had that. And then, like Brother Rob was saying, we started being targeted a lot. And like even in my upbringing, like I didn't care about a whole lot, but I didn't know to care about a whole lot. I was just out here moving at the beat of my own drum. Like I had my mom, but like once you get 16, it ain't too much mom gonna be able to tell me. Whereas, you know, I found when I was raising my son, all the way up until he in his teenage years, I was able to still like, hey brother, like this is
It was
what
like
a man
to
is.
man.
Yeah, like being able to offer that to young men. So I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, it
Just
did.
that presence in their life is able to make
the presence
make a
is
big
huge.
difference. Yeah.
It means so much.
It's like you said to yourself, I know what I was missing. I'm going to try to make sure as many young men as possible don't miss that if I
Right.
can help it, right?
And I think that's the responsibility of men in our community that we don't understand a lot. It seems like we've been pushed to be like, make sure me and mine are good. Not understanding that mine is actually the community of
It's
young people
everybody.
out here.
That's right.
So if I actually got a father, like you have brothers, like it's my responsibility to father them along with Brother Ernest. You know what I'm saying?
Takes a
And
village.
if I don't do that, then they actually lack something
Right.
because Apostle Binion is an amazing man, but he doesn't have every single thing. So I think that's why God created the human family, so that I can give what I can give to little Rob, and he can give what he can give to little Devin, and stuff like that. So it's up to us to go out to these young brothers that's struggling and pour something. Even if you don't have a father, we can, like, there's going to be some issues that we can't address, but it's some that we can curb too. Like he can feel the love of a man and understand what that really means and how to conduct himself and hold himself to standards and things like that. But if we just act like, oh no, that you know what I'm saying, that's their problem. It'll never work. And I think that's what's been put on us a little bit.
I think so too. And it's just such a self-perpetuating problem because oftentimes young men grow up without a father, then they don't know how to be a father, so then they're not, and then it just keeps in the next child and the next child, and it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
What made you What made you decide like, no, I'm gonna be the father that I never had?
Seeing my mom struggle. Like growing up, I had always was my eyes itching. I don't know
You're
what
good.
the situation is. I had always been in a situation like my mom, like not to put my mom business in the street, but we dealt with we from there, you know. So and a lot of times when you're from there and you have women that, like, she didn't have her dad in her life like she needed to. So when you don't have, like, even for a woman, when a woman doesn't have a male figure, they seeking love and affection in the wrong way from different places. So
Right.
she's dealing with relationships that aren't good, and she has children. And so I'm watching that and I'm seeing the abuse that's going on over there. And I'm like, nah, I don't. Like, it typically happens one or two ways. You tend to mimic it and start being mean and rude and abusive to women, or you never want to do that. And I happen to be the one that never wanted to put my family through that. So I think that, and I always wanted to make sure if I had children, they knew what a dad was. So.
Well, my next question is it's a kind of interesting thought that's just put out there, and I'm just curious how you all feel about it. I think I know how you feel. I want to hear you talk about it. I think there's a lot of people of your age, but especially even older than you all, maybe like 20 years older, that look at people our age, and I'm talking about specifically in the Black community, and think, y'all are crazy.
You're cooked.
You're going nowhere. Y'all have no morals. Y'all have no respect. Y'all have no modesty. Your music is trash. Your fashion is trash. Like what? Like they just think our generation is, we're cooked. And I think our generation obviously responds negatively to that.
Right.
And how do y'all think? I think you all are in the age group, and I think there's plenty of people your age that would think the same about us, but I think you all are in the age group to more be able to build a bridge between grandparents, parents, children, young people, like Like, do you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think so. Your original question was like this generational gap. And so like there's always a medium in a generational gap. So like it's not weird that grandma don't understand grandson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where's the parent at in the middle to connect? Like, you know what I'm saying? So there was my grandparents' music wasn't like my mom's music
Right.
or my dad's music. And my dad's music not like mine. But that birthed this and this birthed that. You know what I'm saying?
And you
So
listen to a
you could
chunk
see
of
it trickle
each.
down. So I think what was easy for me was to see how my music gave birth to my son's music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't say your music trash because y'all listen to drill when we had trap music. Like, what's the difference? Like, trap
I
and
don't know how
gangster
many
rap
people have
gave
that
birth
vision,
to
though.
drill. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not hard to see even in television. You know what I'm saying? Like shows that we had trash shows, and so now that y'all got some, what?
Right,
You know what I'm
what's-
saying? Like, what am I really gonna say
Yeah, it's very
about
interesting
it?
because, like, if we're cooked, then who cooked us, right? Like,
Right.
where did we come from? We
Yeah.
didn't just come from Mars. Like, we
Yeah.
actually got raised by somebody, you know?
Right, and it's like if we really know the history of music or television, we know that somebody outside of us controls it. You know what I'm saying? What goes on the mainstream? There's a
Yes.
lot of good conscious music, but you won't find it on the mainstream.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
not like good music is
Why
not
is that?
being produced.
And why is that?
It's just not getting pushed. You know what I'm saying? So you said, why is that?
Like, I'm just saying it's an important question to ask to ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
So there's good music out
Yeah.
there, but why isn't it
aren't we
mainstream?
hearing
Who's
Right.
doing that? You know, it's just a
Yeah.
good path to go down.
And I like to look at like, I think in everything there's a good quality in it. So like, I think young people are very radical right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Super passionate.
and
for
very
sure.
brave, very passionate, and they won't settle. So like, when we were growing up, it was more, if my parents said something, like, don't question it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Even respectfully. Like, shut up, do what I say.
Like, you couldn't even have a respectful
Yeah.
conversation about
And
it.
I'm not saying there's not a place for that
Yes.
sometimes. I'm not saying that. But this generation ain't having it. You got to give me an answer. You know what I'm saying? And you got to give me a good one. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. You know what I'm saying? And it could be disrespectful. It could
Yeah,
be done
it
in a
can be
disrespectful
bad,
way,
right.
and you need to check. But I can't act like I don't need that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually need that, especially in the time that we living in. Like, I love that about the young people. I do. And so, like, when we started Young Men's, I think one of the conversations me and Brother Devin had was like, I have to find something good and redeemable about their music. I have to. I have to find a J. Cole, a Kendrick Lamar. I have to find even the rough rappers. I gotta find something where it's like, no, I get why y'all listening to that. I get why y'all listen to that, and then start to relate and then start to build.
Right. If you come at them from a position of only superiority and attack, it could be hard to receive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
easy.
And I was their age.
It's
You know what I'm
easy.
saying?
Right, once
upon a
you
time.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
forgot that.
like I was your age and I did dumb stuff and I listened to stuff that I probably shouldn't have and didn't really know what I was listening to. And I needed some direction and I needed some guidance, and so would you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Seems like it's easier to find points of contention and then points of connect too.
Yeah.
Like, I think one thing that me and Brother Rob and even Brother Steph was able to do was just find ways to try to connect and try to build up and see and see where. Because I used to, I told Brother Rob, like, we would talk about this and be like, really, it's our fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like these people, these young people that's running around shooting up everything, acting all kind of crazy, come from us. We have we have people that I grew up with that
Excuse me.
acted tough. They wanted to act tough and have all the lingo and have all the this, and I'm saying this. And you got little brothers that are maybe 6 and 7 years younger than you. Now they really gonna try to measure up
To all the stuff what you
this.
just talking, but they're gonna try to do it.
So now you have a culture of young people that's really living this, talking to somebody that really wasn't living that. You know what I'm saying? it's reckless, and now we have to really shine a light on, like, I can't throw that away acting like the 90s wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wasn't just the best children. We wasn't. I was rough.
Yeah.
You know, and I gotta act like I was. You know, I remember listening to music with my son in the car before I was professing salvation and all that. And that brother was like 3 years old, and he was, you know, bobbing his head. Be I might be, and saying the cuss word and all that. And I was like, oh no.
Hang on a second.
You know,
You were like, wait, what?
Like, and he knowing the song, and I didn't stop right then and there, but it's just an acknowledgement. Like, no, I'm actually the reason why. So I have to be the reason for them to change. Because how they gonna change? Like, how we, like, just going outside the Lord? What's going to work?
So would you think that the main responsibility would lie on the generation older?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on
Not
us.
everybody says that.
Yeah.
Some people say, well, the young people should get up and ask for help. They need help. They should ask for it, you know? Or they should make the first step.
No, I don't think they should
think-
make the first step, but I think there is an acknowledgement, like, there's a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So just like in my house, I'm there for my daughter, but she got to receive it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Brother Randy preached a message, and he was talking about that dance. You know what I'm saying? Like my child got to dance with me, though. You got to, like, okay,
You
we
gotta
do it like
receive.
this. I'm leading, but now follow me. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure that the door is open, but you do have to be willing to come.
Yeah.
Because
You
if
know
I
what I'm saying?
don't extend my hand, then she don't even know that a dance is supposed to happen.
Yes. Yes.
So if I don't
Right.
even know that it's
Right.
supposed to happen, if I ain't here offering my hand for the dance, then I can't say nothing to you. You just doing what you're doing.
So at some point, there is no responsibility on the part of the young person. I do think
No.
we have to reciprocate. And like you said, a relationship, that's going to involve two people, and we have to
Right.
be receiving and willing. But I do think the older people have to try to find the way to be receivable.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
some people just be coming in with a sledgehammer, and it's like, okay, I'll just leave. You want to, you
Yeah.
want to do that? I will just leave because I don't have to be here, right?
Right.
And then, but there is responsibility on both sides.
And I think a community is important because you need the sledgehammer. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And so, like, with a sledgehammer is always going to be a sledgehammer.
It's not going to change, right?
And it has
It's not gonna be
and
something
it
else.
has its place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A sledgehammer is never going to be a screwdriver.
True. Yeah.
It's never. It's just always going to be a sledgehammer. That's what it is.
Everybody's gotta have
we
a
need
spot.
it. And I need
And
it.
it's time
I
and
just don't
place.
need you every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do not need you
I don't
every
need you on
day.
every job, on every part of the job, but I do need you.
Right.
And so, but if the community is intact, then the sledgehammer wouldn't try to sew up when it's a hammer job if the hammer's there. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like, it's just we got a dysfunctional community where people are in places that really they just shouldn't be. And we don't even operate like a community, though.
You're saying black folks.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
operate like a community. We don't, no, not at all.
Do you think
Not
that
close.
that would be the answer, us operating as a community?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That would take
How is
really
that to
strong
be done?
leadership.
Like, how do you approach that?
Acknowledging fathers, the true fathers of communities.
I think that's the first step.
And acknowledging gifts, and
What do you mean by gifts? What are gifts?
like, it's certain people can hold people. Like Tupac could hold communities of people. Martin could hold communities of people. Malcolm
Yes.
could hold communities of people. And if you get up and talk and ain't nobody listening to you, sit down.
Must not be a holder.
Sit down.
Sit down. And if you look up and somebody talking and everybody turn their head, don't get jealous. That's just the spot he's in. That doesn't make him better than you.
Yeah, you must have
That
been the
just me-
hammer.
That you must have been a sledgehammer, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
need
And
you.
I think it's too many people trying to be in positions that they don't belong in. I know that I'm not the talker, brother Rob. In our duo, that brother, I pull him in. I go create the relationship. I'm a relationship brother. I'm going to be there. I'm going to give you grace. I'm going.
You know, let us beat
that
you in
brother ain't gonna
volleyball.
give you as much grace as that.
Nah,
You didn't hear that one.
Yeah, that's facts.
But I'm going to be the grace giver. I'm going, but when it comes to counsel and it comes to giving you what you need to hear, that brother going to talk, and I know how to sit back in the cut and let him move how he move.
So that's what you mean by gifting.
Yes.
Okay,
You just gotta.
And you acknowledged him, and he acknowledges you, and that's why you can work together.
And it don't threaten me. Like if you was to put the camera on him this whole time, I'm smooth with that because I know that's what he do. And I chime in and I'm gonna be like, go on, my brother. Like it is what it is. Like when I seen this podcast move, like I was happy for y'all because I felt like we was doing this.
Right.
And you could have never.
We could have never done it without you all.
You could have never put me on this show, and I'm saying we still did it.
Right.
And I think that's the problem with our community. They think if they ain't the one sitting in front of the show, then it ain't. You know what I'm saying? They didn't participate. And really, if you came in and mopped this floor before the show, then you was a part of the show.
Right.
And
You're
we don't understand that.
Yeah. I think the foundation of it all though is love.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like we just don't love each other in our community. We don't care for each other, not genuinely, not really. You know what I'm saying? And so like if you love one another, you can work through hard things.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can humble yourself and say, he just do that better than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So me and Brother Devin, we just had a relationship though, and we loved each other. So when we start recognizing each other gift, it was easy to just be like, oh no, that brother do that. And I ain't gonna get in his way and get in his lane. Like, cause I love him. And that's what's wrong with our community. That's why somebody can open up, say somebody open up a restaurant and somebody will see you eating and you doing well and be like, oh, I'm gonna open one. Why? Why you gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? We a community of 10,000. Why we gonna divide that money up? It's like we just don't function right.
And I think that start with the church. I think that's what happens in the church.
Oh, that was my next question.
You know what I'm saying?
How
Like,
do we get back to loving each other?
Because we we have so we got a church, right? We got the church, but people don't I think a lot of Christians don't understand what the church is. They think the church is the building, and it's not. So we have a church building. We got these walls, and we got a preacher, and then a preacher get to moving. A minister or a called man of God get to moving, and you may disagree with something, and now you feel like since I disagree, instead of us
Working it out.
fights are necessary. It don't have to be a physical fight,
Brothers fight
but
sometimes.
we need to. We actually got to get in and deal with one another. And instead of doing that, somebody feel like, okay, I'm about to go start my church down the street and really do this one aspect. Well, now all you got is this aspect that you see him do wrong, but you're missing the whole rest of the ministry that
The
needed
blessing
to be.
you needed from him.
And I think it starts with us as so-called disciples of Christ really sitting down at the table and saying, okay, like I love you, I need you, and then acknowledging, I have to acknowledge who you are in my life because I actually need you. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's figures in our community because there's leaders of men.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There's just prominent people. There's leaders of family. And it's like we operate so divisional.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you have all these organizations, but so Brother Steve, the reason why Brother Steve created Real Black Excellence to show the community how to function together. Now it's more to be said, but that's the premise of it.
Right.
Let's learn how to work together. You know what I'm saying? And we don't work together. You know what I'm saying? So in my home, I go to work, my wife will go to work, my children go to school. So we're functioning. We're doing what we're supposed to do, but we know we're supposed to come back home.
Right.
We bring all this back to the house, and we don't do that as a community.
Yes.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
don't bring it back to the house.
No, I go my way, and then I bring this back to this, and you go your way, and you bring it back to your little thing, and it's like, no, bring it back to us. Like, like we gotta function together, and we just don't deal with each other like that. Like we don't deal with each other like family.
Yeah.
I think and when you start looking at communities, like we are about the only community that operate like that. I don't know.
No, we're not.
Well, I'm
White
saying,
people act like that.
No, I'm saying, well, no, yes,
You know what I'm saying? That's America.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
That is
Truly American.
That is American. That's why when Hispanics come here, they don't operate like we operate.
And that's where I was.
And
trying
we
to
be
say.
like, ooh, yeah, they functioning. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And that's
they
what I meant by
functioning.
that. it's a Europeanized way of thinking,
It is.
and that's what I was trying to get to, like, because I was going to go, when I look at the Hispanic culture, or when I look at the Asian culture, they come over here and they make moves. Like, it's a city not far from here, and they take
Buying everything.
They buying everything, and it's like, if we can just not be scared of getting, like, now Brother Rob got this business. We're going to get up under Brother Rob and we're going to make Brother Rob go to the moon, because we know that trickles down.
His success is our success.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we got to be concerned about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we got to know that the one who's at the head is concerned about us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's black people that come in the community and eat, and they're going to take that money too. You know what I'm saying? And not invest it back.
People are concerned about that.
Yeah.
People, I mean, even just on the podcast, because we've gotten a little bit, me and Peyton don't feel that proficient on politics, but we've gotten into discussions with the Steph about it. Mostly for us, it was like a learning opportunity. We're just kind of listening and learning and things like that. But a lot of people in the comments were concerned because he mentioned that Miss Harris, who's saying she's black and whatever, should therefore have a specific and special burden for the black community.
Right.
And a lot of people said, but she's president of the whole United States, that she can't do that.
Right.
What would you say to that? Like,
But why
feeling
can't-
attacked by helping us first.
Right, but why can't you? You know what I'm saying? There's been groups that have stuff specifically done for them. As far as reparations, whether it's Native Americans, whether it, you know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? Whether it's Japanese from Pearl Harbor, whether it's Jews, you do stuff for specific groups because you understand the atrocities that was committed against them.
Right.
Now, you should do that if you're a white man. You know what I'm saying? But if you're black, why don't you have a burden for black people? You know what I'm saying? And that was my concern. That was my concern with Miss Harris. Because I came over to y'all house when y'all was recording. And if you remember, I said, it kind of concerns me that we'll say that she's not black. And I don't agree with that no more. You know what I'm saying? Just because now, if she can prove it, then prove it. But we just so much get taken from us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
much get taken from us. And it's
that's
like,
why it's important.
we allow and accept so much. And we'll accept something that's not us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So then when you make the comment that I won't do nothing specifically for black people, did a black woman say that? You know what I'm saying? Not because if you're not black and you're posing as it, and now you make that comment, and now I listen to that comment, it hit different.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now that's a different comment. So it's like, oh, you shouldn't be concerned whether she's black or not. No, I do, because that's what you ran that campaign on.
Right.
And you didn't make some statements about us. And now we got to measure this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That are you our friend or are you our enemy?
And you have a whole history that you need to account for.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You done locked up some of us. So we want to know, are you for us?
Right.
And are you one of us?
Are you actually one of us?
You know what I'm saying?
you
Because a lot of
engaged in the
people
struggle?
identify with us. That don't mean you one of us. Because reparations is due to a people. And are you that people?
And if you're not, it's fine. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Because I'll vote for you if
'Cause
your
you are-
policies was well.
because you are a melanated woman. We're not saying you're not a melanated woman. Like,
You're definitely a woman of color,
We're talking.
yes.
We're talking about the people from the struggle that we're from, and like, if you're not, you're not. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? You cool.
But don't use
Be
and abuse
smooth.
that, right?
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
but like, you can't say at one point that you're not a part of this, and hold a stance, and then when it worked for you,
Then also
you are, and then. And it seemed like we as black people want something so bad, we just start accepting anything, and it's like, oh, so you don't want to vote for a black
taken
woman?
advantage
well,
of.
No, but we want her to really be what she is. You know what I'm saying? Be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you from our struggle, then be with us in our struggle.
yes.
And we ain't saying we want ignorance in the White House. Like, people think that that's like, I don't know. And we ain't saying our culture is all this crazy stuff. We're just saying, like, hey, represent us. Like, represent
we're
us in
We're gonna
the
claim it.
fullness thereof. You know.
And being providing a specific uplifting to the Black community doesn't hurt the white community or the Latino community, the Asian
should
community.
help everyone.
Lifting up the Black community lifts up everyone.
Yeah.
But
So-
I think people don't understand.
So you're bringing in these immigrants. What are you doing specifically for them?
Because it's specific.
It's specific.
And
You know what I'm saying? Everybody that come in ain't getting that money. People from Jamaica ain't coming in, but these people from this certain section, when y'all send them from where they are to here, you're giving them a certain stipend. What are you doing for them specifically? You know what I'm saying? And you telling me you can't lift up your own that's here, that's been here, that's built this country? What is you talking about?
Are we your own?
And not even
know what I'm
that,
saying?
that, like, you have whole policies that send billions of dollars to a whole nother country that's in a war that has nothing to do with us. But you can't like that. But now you don't have that $8 billion for this community
For the Black community.
that could do major things like that. That could
In a
be
community
a major.
that you're so concerned about. And that you're so
concerned.
engulfed with, and that you done wrote a book about, and we didn't seen you in Harlem. And what did you talk like?
It don't. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah,
The math is not math.
and that's why when you see my wife at, because social media is going crazy with it.
It is.
Right.
And I told my wife, I said, well, you can see it on the opposite end it too, and you can't.
You said that originally?
Yeah,
But
that's
you
what
feel
I told
like
my
actually
wife.
no?
I said you can find a lot of videos though of the support the opposite way, and I'm not saying there's not support.
It's rough.
But you you don't see that like you see young Black men like I ain't rocking with her. I ain't rocking with her. I ain't listening to her. I ain't. You just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And no matter what it is, if you don't have the support, then you're not there. You can't lead. If no one's following you, it's I don't know what to say about it. It's just too late. No matter what the facts are, the truth is that no one's following you. So we got to go with the truth.
right. And that don't mean I'm a Trump supporter. Like I don't.
right.
You know what I'm saying? He was there for
No.
4 years, and I didn't see no difference. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't see you do nothing for our people. You didn't do nothing to break systemic issues. You wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm
break,
going to give
yes.
reparations. I'm going to. So I don't think you the one either. I mean, if I'm just going to be honest, our help
Right.
going to come from us.
Right.
From us.
Our help
I'm
going
so-
to
For
come from
people
us.
that
Like,
are
I'm so
truly-
tired of Black people waiting for the government and
It's not.
to do.
That's
it is
not it.
like stop looking for them. They ain't about to do nothing for us. Like if we don't do it, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? And I think I go back to Malcolm. Malcolm was on it, and Martin was coming to it.
Yeah.
You know, and with his last speech, I'm afraid that I integrated my people into a burning house. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody gonna help us but us. And actually, that makes sense.
Right.
It actually makes sense.
That
Clean
help-
up your own house.
Right. Yeah. That help would arise from
Within.
within, somebody that's actually and truly identified with the struggle, on top of being a cult of God leader.
Yeah.
That would make a difference for us, right?
But a lot of Black people, at least it seems like they're just not willing for that depth of sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a real sacrifice.
You're
So
saying
real.
to come under a leader?
No, to
to
build
take-
to
To
build
raise
up
up.
something and take responsibility on yourself to do that.
That's
so
hard
like
work.
I got this from Dr. Umar, so this ain't original. Dr. Umar said, so we know about like welfare and government taking care of Black women to replace Black men. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to subsidize you or support you, but I won't support you if both of y'all living in this house. So Black women will not get in a relationship so they can receive this.
Right.
So they like, okay, the government did this to replace us. And Dr. Umar said, okay, well, let them not do that. Now you step up. Are you willing to?
If the government goes away,
'Cause you
are
wanna
you going to
complain
do that
about it.
sacrifice?
Are you willing to sacrifice and make sure you take care of her?
No,
And
that
most
ain't
of them
my-
ain't.
that ain't my family.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them ain't. And it's like, I'm talking about that level of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Are you willing to be broke? Are you willing to, and not knowing how it's going to work out? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give my all and I don't know how it's going to work out, but I give it because I know it falls on us to make this work.
Right.
Okay.
You're willing to be committed like that.
Yeah.
And that ain't just talk. We do it.
Yeah.
Y'all are and have been
Examples
examples
of
of
that.
that.
We do that. We actually do it.
So would you think it would be partly because of a victim mentality that people have?
Explain.
So you're saying people are not willing to take the responsibility. Would that be because of a
think
victim
it's-
mentality? Like they want to blame someone else. It's the government that's doing it. They're replacing us. It's them.
think
But
it's
they're just
both.
having a victim mentality so they don't have to.
I think it's multiple things.
Yeah. I was, Go
No,
ahead. Sorry.
you
No,
you
go, brother.
go.
I ain't want to interrupt.
We just talked about position.
No,
and you
do
know
it.
you do this better.
Do it though. Do it.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's victim mentality. I think it's selfishness more than anything. I think people want what they want. They use it for what they want to use it for. I'd rather have my J's and spend $300 or $400 on my J's than, you know what I'm saying, give, help and make sure somebody got a meal or something like that, or got some bills paid. Like, if I can look fresh, that was the most important thing. Like, and I deal with that with people. It's men that I know move like that regular with their own family. Go ahead.
But like, so whenever you start like,
And he gonna get deeper than me.
once you
Always.
like, every time you start looking at the Black community, you always end up back at the beginning, like, but look at what was done to us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do the men value the J's and the freshness so much? Because he don't got nothing else to value.
No, that's right.
Now why? You know what I'm saying? Why?
Yes,
where
why?
where is the
asking
opportunities
why.
in his
Keep
neighborhood?
asking why.
Where is the access to wealth? Where is it? You know what I'm saying? So like, he's selfish. Why? Why is he? Because he don't have nothing else. Like, I gotta hold on to this little bit, because where is it gonna come from? Where, like, I gotta hold on to my little bit because I don't see nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we sometimes forget, and I ain't saying this because of him. I'm saying sometimes when we start like, because I think we should be challenged and checked, but we can't never forget like what was done to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the position that we was put in. And so it's like, though I blame you, man, I don't blame you more than I
But I
blame
don't
this
blame you.
system.
Right.
And that's right.
Can't blame me more than
You know what
everyone.
I'm saying? Because this system produced you.
What would you say to these? And I'm not trying to talk bad about nobody, but there are people that, they're just saying, well, slavery was so long ago. You cannot still be blaming your problems today on slavery that
Like,
happened
nothing
hundreds
is
of
happening
years
to
ago.
you right now, so
Right,
be quiet
that's
and
just
get
'cause
up.
You have a good life. I mean, this is the land
You're
of
in
prosperity.
America.
You're in America, and slavery was, first of all, that long ago, and second of all, you've been given so many opportunities, and they want to talk about BLM and DEI and all the programs and the
Black people are given so much stuff.
How would you explain to someone like that?
I wouldn't.
You just leave them at that point?
I mean, I really wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't obviously see what's going on, I probably can't show you by just Brother C's book.
By pointing to the facts, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't. I
Yeah.
just can't. Like, we're living in this. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're doing all right, don't mean that we're as a whole doing all right. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about you. It's not just about a few people winning.
Individual.
But
You know
what
what I'm
if they're
saying? It's not an
saying
individual behavior. Like, the group, something has happened to our
to a group, right?
of people.
And okay, so
That's what racism is.
right, and
You know what I'm
so a
saying?
thought I had, and tell me if this is a good thought. And me and Peyton, we talked about this together. They say, well, if you're not doing well, people are literally saying, like important people, politicians, like people that have a voice,
Right.
are saying things like, well, white people just need to, people from the Black community,
Right.
about us, speaking about themselves. You just need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you just need to get up and fix yourself. And Black fathers just get in the home and just be in the home,
Right.
and just speaking as if they're just telling them, and then you just do it.
It's like simple, like get in your house.
Right.
But it wasn't done to us individually.
Yeah.
So we can't fix it individually.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a good thought?
What you mean? Help me to understand. We can't
Okay,
fix
I'll
it
try to be a little more
individually.
specific.
Help me.
So the issues of the Black community are the issues of the Black community. It's not
Right.
one Black man, it's not 100 Black people, it's the community.
Right.
And it was done to us as a community. Slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, it was done as a community.
Right.
So people can't pick themselves up by themselves. We can only pick ourselves back up as a community together.
Yeah.
But it seemed like to say those statements you have to be unwilling to acknowledge the step-by-step process that's happened. Like, it wasn't like slavery happened and then it ended and then I just left you alone. I may not have, I didn't give you reparations. We know you didn't give, but I left you alone and let you go figure it out. That didn't happen either.
Right.
Like slavery
Right.
happened, and then it was quote unquote abolished, which it wasn't. Then and then the what was it called, the Black Laws, or what's it called?
Black
Jim Crow
codes.
era.
Yeah, the Black
Black
Codes.
Codes.
Black Codes happen. So if I spit on it or do anything, or if I look at you too long, you're gonna send me to prison or whatever. You still
Where
hanging
you're
me. You got the
enslaved
KKK.
again.
Yeah, convict leasing and-
And then you got the crack epidemic. Like people act like the crack epidemic didn't like it don't matter. Like that was devastating.
That
Like
demolished
that actually
communities.
that actually did. That was a rough situation. Like that actually I think that was the start of stealing fathers and mothers from the home before.
It was like it restarted it.
Bill Clinton and what is that? The
war
mass
on-
incarceration. The war.
Yeah, the war on crime
That-
and mass incarceration.
Yeah.
War on drugs.
I think that was one of the worst things that happened to us. That it's like slavery and then that. And I don't know if you can just.
Because it's slavery. It's still slavery.
It's all continuation of each
I
other.
don't know if you can rank them, but if I'm going to rank them, I'm going to say slavery.
That's
and then,
the second.
like that's because you really destroyed us right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, in my mind, and I could be corrected.
No, but
you
you're
know,
making
but-
sense though.
And it's so weird to me when highly intelligent people just refuse to acknowledge that would affect us right now. Like that is just the strangest thing.
Like
to me.
it's like it's a constant knock of, or attempt to knock us off of our progress.
Yeah.
Like when you see us making progress, you have to do something to derail
like
us.
Black Wall Street.
And
Yeah.
like we are some of the most black people, some of the most resilient people in the world.
People.
Like can't nobody do what we do. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm. People can feel like it's hate if they want to, but I don't know. Like we have been abused in the worst way, and we still rise. We still
beautiful.
rise out of it, and we got some rough parts about us, but we got some beautiful parts about us
Yeah.
So
that
right.
I wouldn't trade for. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trade us for nobody.
Yes,
No.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like we know how to love.
Mm-hmm.
And
In the
forgive.
midst of like we got people, we got some we got boys out here running around doing some serious crimes and some serious things, but in the midst of that, we do got some love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of our most heinous acts come off of the fact that you offended something in me that should never be offended.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times those rifts happen because it's like, oh yeah, you really did something to me.
Right.
And I loved you. And now it ain't no coming back, and I really want to do harm to you because you hurt me, and I don't have somebody to teach me how to really process those emotions. So now all I know is to come at you like a torpedo.
Lash out, yeah.
Whereas, you know, Sally Joe or Billy Bob may have had somebody to be like, no, this is how you deal with that, and this is where you put that.
I think everybody has some legitimacy to their point.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like y'all just got to get over it. We do though.
We absolutely do.
You know what I'm saying? Like we do though.
They're not like diametrically opposed to each other. Getting over it and remembering aren't.
You know what I'm saying? Like now you probably need some help on this end. You know what I'm saying? Remembering, but you got to pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. Well, we learning, we do. Because who else gonna pick us up? You know what I'm saying? What was Black Wall Street? Black folks picking themselves up by their own bootstrap. You know what I'm saying? Lacing their own up and building something from the ground up. That like you are gonna have to do it yourself. So I'm saying it's legitimate. I just don't like the spirit in which it's given. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not other infrastructures that got to happen for that to happen.
Yeah, the way that they're using the statement and the agenda that they're pushing with it. And it's often hard to, it's super hard to articulate through it because you're mad at somebody and you're like, I don't like what they said, I don't like what they're doing. And then you start to sound foolish because you're like denying truth and then you can't take it back and then it starts getting like,
Because it's a refuse to acknowledge what's really going on both parts. It seems
Right.
like
Right.
you don't want to, and that's where I was going with victim mentality. I'm saying you just want to hold I want to hold victimness.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I want to acknowledge victimness, put it over here, and now let's go find some bootstraps. I don't got bootstraps. I'm going to go find. That's what bootstraps
Well,
is.
let's find some together.
What I got to do.
Right.
to get these bootstraps. Now I'm gonna put these bootstraps on and I'm gonna lift myself up.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, it's like you don't want don't act like y'all didn't do y'all actually are doing this to this day to us.
Right. Right.
Like
Something is happening.
to this day.
Right.
We actually have to overcome a lot more than most people. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And to act like we don't is crazy. So and it's crazy when black people black people that actually went through these issues then say, once they get up here, they like, oh no, it's not like this. Like, shut up. You
used to have these
used to have
issues.
this. You actually are on record complaining about this stuff. Be quiet. Like,
Be quiet.
it's crazy how me and him will flip flop. One day he'll call me like, bro, black people need to get themselves together, and I'm like, bro, yeah, but I mean, this, and he's like, yeah, you right. And then the next day I'm calling like, bro, I'm so tired of people having all these excuses. He's like, yeah, but what we gonna do, you know? And
Because it's both.
because it's both. It's both.
It's so important to have
both.
someone narrating that into black people because it gets confusing in there. What's my responsibility? What's that? Where?
And black people go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and that's why the prophetic perspective is so important, because it keeps us right there, holding both.
Yeah. And black people got to refuse to choose. Like, we got to refuse to be divided. Like, I can't have Malcolm or Martin.
Gotta have
I
both.
can't have W.E.B. Du Bois or
Marcus Garvey,
Booker
Booker
T
T.
or
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey. Like, I can't have either or. Like,
gotta have it
I
all.
need,
I need
both
both.
of them.
It's all a part of
both
the struggle.
perspectives is right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta have them. I can't have Brother Steph or Brother Randy. You know what I'm saying? I can't choose which one is better. No, they're both right. How do they work together? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in our community, we just pick sides, and it's like there is no side to pick. The side is ours. You know what I'm saying? I'm on our side.
Is our side.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's so good. Well, it's been an excellent conversation. Thank you all so much for
Yeah, we
coming.
wanted to come and drop some knowledge.
No, we learned. I learned. I learned.
That was good.
I was blessed. I hope you all were blessed as well. We're so thankful Brother Rob and Brother Devin came on the show. Say what? She whispering at me over here. I'm forgetting something.
Devin.
Oh, just in case. Very true. You asked me.
I was just going to say before, because I hear her winding down. So I was just going to say, is there anything that you would like to is there something on your heart that you want to say before we shut everything down? A particular message that you would say to the youth of our day? Our audience is, what are we looking at right now?
Between 25 and 35?
Yeah, we're looking at mostly 25, 35-year-olds. We got some 18 to 24-year-olds, and we're looking at a higher percentage of male audience at this point in time right now. Although depending on the podcast, sometimes we're split, right? Like if we're talking about our hair, right? So we got a little more female, but yeah.
You ain't always gonna be young. You know what I'm saying? You may be 18 or 20, but soon you'll be 30 and 40. And time go faster on the back end and on the, you know what I'm saying, on the front end of things. Like when you're younger, it seemed like you got all the time. But now that I'm 40, I realize, I don't have much time. So I feel more anxious to do and to work. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when you're young, you can tend to procrastinate if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you got time to do stuff and you really don't got that much time. You know what I'm saying? So you need to get after it. Don't waste your time. Dr. King said time can be your ally or it can be your enemy. You know what I'm saying? So like you use your time constructively, especially like I know that there's a big thing. So y'all work in the schools. And young people, period, but especially young black men, like people are not reading on grade level. People are being pushed through school. They're and not able to read, but still allowed to graduate. And a lot of times I think that young people, like they be embarrassed, so they don't even go after it and don't try because they're embarrassed and they don't want to feel stupid. And it's like, no, get after it. You know what I'm saying? Like get after it. Young man, get after it. You know what I'm saying? And educate yourself. Read. I know y'all be big on reading. Read.
You got a good book for
every
us?
day.
Hustling Backwards.
Yeah, Hustling Backwards.
You definitely Hustling Backwards.
Hustling Backwards is a good book. For young men, I like Roots.
Okay.
And like the first half of it though. Like
when he's still in Africa?
Yeah, when he's still in Africa and specifically, now I'm targeting your male audience, especially like the male passage. The passage to manhood.
Yes.
Like read that, understand why can't a young man get married till he's 40? And why are young women just allowed to get married? You know what I'm saying? And then you'll understand the weight of your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Because you actually have to understand the weight of this community, and it may take you a longer time. Whereas, and I'm not saying this is right, because I actually think a woman should too, but in their tradition, they was just saying, okay, this woman, these are the years where she can give birth and give us children and rear our children. But you, young man, got to understand how this community function and how important you are in it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go out here and have babies. Nah, you understand how this work, how to provide, how to protect, how to educate. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. That always stays with me whenever I'm talking to young men. Like I go in the detention center and volunteer, and that's always on my head. Like, okay, let's deal with them about this.
The Land.
I love that book.
And I would say not just The Land, the whole stuff. It's a few books.
Roll of
that
Thunder.
By Mildred
Roll
D.
of
Taylor.
Thunder, all of
The
the whole
friendship.
Logan family saga. But The Land really is where it starts. I mean, Roll of Thunder was the first one, but The Land is, if you do it,
Prequel.
yeah, The Land is the first one. It really teach you about the Black resilience and how to press through and how to stay focused and really hold yourself to a standard like that.
He
That's
think he Mitchell.
You think you Mitchell? You wish. You wish.
I am Mitchell. That's Paul.
Because Paul was lighter skinned, huh? That's why he's trying to say that.
Paul was Mitchell was solid though.
He was solid.
He was solid, but
He
Paul
was solid.
but Paul was the man. Paul was the man. You know what I'm saying?
Mitchell was their guy.
We got Mitchell and Paul here.
You know what I'm saying? But
I read that book first time when I was 13.
we stay reading it. We
I
listen
need
to
to,
it regular
I think
over
I
and
need to
over.
read it again. But I was with my dad when I was finishing it. We were in the car and he was jamming out to his gospel music. He was having fun. He was singing and clapping. And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And he looked over and I'm just
Balling.
weeping.
Yeah, Mitchell just died.
got
Mitchell
shot.
died.
Got shot.
I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, "What did I do?" I was like, "This book."
Yeah,
It was
it hurt you.
life changing. It did hurt me.
Yeah, it hurt
and now
you.
we done spoiled it for everybody that hadn't read it.
Oh, it's
haven't read
still
it,
good.
But one
It's
thing
good.
that I would tell young people, ain't nobody gonna care about us like we care about us. Ain't nobody gonna care about you as much as you. If you don't take an interest and make take a special interest in yourself and make sure you the best you can be, then you ain't gonna be it, because ain't nobody gonna make it happen for you. You got it's older people in your life for a reason. They done been through it. I ain't saying they understand everything, and but it's
They've been there.
It's a reason why they've been on this earth before you, and it'd be good to take them jewels from them. Even if we don't agree with them, it's good to just hear it and then apply what we can apply to us, because it'll help us
Yes, sir.
navigate a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate y'all
good.
sisters though. I appreciate what y'all doing. I love what y'all doing.
We're out here learning.
Yeah.
We're learning in front of the camera. Lord help us.
I'm glad I was able to come by this little podcast, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, Brother
This
Devin, we'll see you.
You know, it's refreshing though. Like y'all actually refreshing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, especially in the state of like media and everything that's getting pushed, especially like the ideal of how a young Black woman should carry herself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all actually a breath of fresh air.
That is probably the #1 comment I have seen on our channel.
Yeah.
I do want to say something too.
He
I
got
do
the-
be in the comments.
Yeah, well, Devin do be in the comments. So watch out. So
Y'all
watch
be trying
out.
to come at my sisters like there won't be no smoke. I will give you all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Just know. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful
We
to
gonna troll the
these
trolls.
beautiful young ladies. They are Black young ladies.
Yeah.
So all y'all that's saying what y'all saying, hey. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Now
with
y'all
it.
know.
I'm with it.
Now y'all know why we love Brother Rob and Brother Devin. Y'all know what time it is. Peace, love, and hair grease.